Um, we're here to share some experiences with you about something that's already helped a lot of us in a lot of ways, and we want to be able to explain it in more detail to our friends and family. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start here by sharing my screen, and we'll get rolling.
I got introduced to some products by my uncle from a company called GLL Life, and I started to do my own research. And I found out this system has 96 different superfruits and vegetables, along with 8 probiotics and prebiotics. It's 100% plant-based,
Sorry, I'm going to get rid of that floating controls.
100% vegan, no additives, non-GMO. So on February 7th, I started taking the Daily 3 system by GLL Life. And this system includes the next balance, the next detox, and a powder mixture called Phyto Power. So I start my day by taking 1 ounce of the balance or 1 ounce of the detox before I leave for work. And then I mix the Phyto Power in juice after I eat lunch. But the cool thing is that there's no specific time or way to take this product, just as long as you take it every day. So by me simply doing this every day, so far I've experienced improved sleep. I no longer feel groggy and hesitant when I wake up in the morning. Also, I feel like I have an unlimited supply of energy throughout my day. It's constant, with no crashes whatsoever. It's been pretty amazing how much I'm getting accomplished now after I get home from work. One of the best results I've experienced so far is that I'm losing weight. I've lost 5 pounds so far, and honestly, I'm not even trying. It's curbing my snacking habits, I'm eating smaller portions, throwing all the extra activities I'm doing from the increased energy. I'm expecting the next couple months I will have even greater results. And lastly, I just feel overall way better. Like it's such a great feeling to feel great.
Hi guys, this is C. Rich, better known as Claudia Richardson out of Dallas, Texas. I believe that my purpose is truly to share and share what has been given to me. I believe in anything that's given. Much is given, much is required, and I believe that I've been given a lot, and so I like to give a lot. So I love to share good news. I had no idea what a microbiome was. I thought it was something with dealing with microbiology or so. When they said microbiome, I was like, but what is that? But to find out how powerful the microbiome is, and to be 56 years old and to find out about it for the very first time and understand that everything, all illness, sickness, and disease begins in the gut I've always heard that you are what you eat, but literally we are what we eat, and learning about the microbiome has been the best thing I've ever heard about, and I truly believe that we now have discovered the fountain of youth, or the fountain of health, actually. I actually had just had a perfect physical, back in this past summer, and I had clean bill of health, and 2 weeks later I wound up getting hit with the Delta COVID that knocked me off my feet, and I found myself in ICU fighting for my life for 6 weeks on life support. And then after doing that, coming home on oxygen for 2 months, and then not being able to walk and having to learn how to walk again, all the way from August until just 6 weeks ago, which was on March the 8th, is when I found out about this incredible company. But during that time, my body started getting worse. Even after coming home and recovering from COVID, I started having kidney issues. I was having neuropathy in my feet. My hands would tremble and was shaking. My hands were just literally, I could not believe it that they were just literally shaking. I was really having a terrible cough. For months I've been coughing and mucus and just really wasn't feeling well, wasn't feeling strong, and could not exercise. And when I got started on this product, 3 days after being on it, the cough went away. The mucus dried up. The neuropathy is now gone from my feet. I'm no longer limping. I have energy like I would not believe. My trembling is no longer in my hands. I just really feel, I feel healthy. compared to how I was feeling just prior to that. And so that is why I'm so excited about this incredible product company, because I know for a fact that the products truly have helped me. And I believe that if you give the body what it needs, the body will heal itself. And I'm just excited to be a part of sharing that good news with everybody.
So what are these guys talking about? What could they be doing to have these kind of results? Well, you might be surprised, but I hate to break it to you, but it isn't new. All disease begins in the gut. How long we known about it? Well, you and I just learned about it, as these people that you just saw. That's something that's new to them. But did you realize that Hippocrates was talking about this 2,500 years ago? You know, as it was said here, that every time we eat or drink, we expose ourselves to chemicals, hormones that are either feeding disease or fighting it. The common thread in disease processes today are a lack of bacterial diversity and a decrease in good bacteria. So if that was something they knew 2,500 years ago, imagine, especially here in this country, how bad things have gone, how it's all gone awry. And it's why we're the sickest, most obese nation on the planet. It all stimulates or stems from this gut microbiome. Now, there is actually, according to Harvard Health Publishing, as you can see here, there's a connection between the gut and the brain. And you might have heard that saying before that, you know, I had a gut feeling. Well, I've recently learned that that's not just a saying. That's real, because of this thing called a vagus nerve that runs from your brain to your gut, and they interact with each other. And as you'll see, this is a little short clip that I saw on the Today Show, which is a pretty popular show here in the United States.
It's time for a gut check, and by that we mean literally what is in your gut. It affects everything from your mood to your immunity to your metabolism.
Dr. Roshni Raj is a gastroenterologist and author of a new book. It's called Gut Renovation: Unlock the Age-Defying Power of the Microbe to Remodel Your Health from the Inside. The gut is something that doesn't get enough attention, and it does affect every part of your body.
Every single part from head to toe. And that's why I wrote this book, because I've always been fascinated by our microbiome, that community of bacteria and organisms that affect everything from head to toe. But there's been an explosion in the last few years on the research on really what are the mechanisms behind it.
Yep, it's all about the gut. This is a copy of Dr. Raj's book, which I have a copy, and I know that several people that have attended this in the past have gotten it too. And it's one of thousands of information available to you. If you'll just Google anything you can think of in the human body and then put after it gut microbiome or gut health, and you'll see millions, absolutely, and I mean millions. Like I put in diabetes because I'm a diabetic, and I put in diabetes and gut microbiome, and instantly it tells you how many hits there are and how long it took to gather those hits. And it was like 20 million hits in less than half a second. It's unbelievable, the documentation that is out there on this gut microbiome. I kind of felt slighted, like, well, but why didn't I ever know? So here's the three questions that people ask. Is there a beginning to good health? Is there one thing that you can do today that'll really make a difference? And is there one idea that's really the foundation of achieving optimal health? And yes, the answer to that question is very simply put, yes. Good health starts by addressing the microenvironment that exists within our digestive system. It's called the gut microbiome. And we want you to get acquainted with this system because it's literally the center of good health. To create an ideal microbiome is something that it's scientific now. This is documented information that we're sharing with you. We didn't make it up. The point is, how do you do these things? You have to have the good bacteria. You have to have the bad bacteria, things that eliminates bad bacteria and on a balance between them. Nowadays, people understand. I've talked to a lot of people. Oh yeah, I take probiotics. I talked to a guy the other day who was saying, oh yeah, I actually make my own probiotic. Oh, that's great. What do you feed it? Well, what do you mean? What do I feed it? Well, a probiotic is a living bacteria. It activates when it gets into the stomach, usually in a capsule or a powder, and you get it in your stomach. It comes alive. Now it's alive. What is it that you feed it? Living things need to eat. Well, no, it's just probiotic. You just take probiotic. So you see how we're deceived, and we buy this junk that just makes other people rich and really doesn't do that much for us. Probiotic needs a prebiotic. A prebiotic is the food for the probiotic. And guess what the probiotic does after it eats? Yeah, it's a living organism. It has waste. Well, where's that go? How's that get rid of? Oh, that's called a prebiotic. A postbiotic. So if you don't have all three, you're wasting your time with these probiotics. But what is really the effects of the microbiome? What different things can you expect to see a difference in your life when you have a positive effect on the microbiome? Well, here's a list. See if any of them look important to you. The immune system, blood sugar, that was me. Nutrient production and absorption. You know that they have now discovered that a healthy gut microbiome creates its own vitamins. You know, we take all this stuff. We got Amazon, got us convinced to get on their subscription and get all this stuff. But what does it do? You know, we're just hoping from the ads that we see on TV that, well, I guess that sounds like something I need. That sounds like something I need. But, you know, when you have a healthy gut, when you're doing the things to make your microbiome healthy, look at all the things it affects. Inflammation. Anybody got a problem with that? Skin and bone health, brain function, mood, sleep, energy, allergies, weight loss, your weight, your circulatory system. By the way, when you have a healthy gut microbiome, what if you're trying to gain weight? You're one of these people that are really, really thin. You're trying to gain weight. You know the one thing that affects it all? The gut microbiome. So if you're overweight and need to lose, the gut knows how to help you. If you're underweight and you need to gain, your gut knows how to help you. It's just really amazing. So it's all about the geography of the plant. So here's what the science people and the founders of this company learned about the importance of plants. It starts in our garden. You know, focusing on the nutrients and the phytonutrients that are in our organic family, just in our own family gardens, has an effect on the microbiome. Remote areas of the earth, you know, we've heard a lot over the last 20 years about these superfruits and how it can have an effect on our gut microbiome. Then we got the exotic market. You've heard of all these things like turmeric and these different spices and peppers and different things that help the gut microbiome. And then there's ancient sources, things that have been used for millennia about helping our gut and thus our health. So when you look at the garden itself, this could be typical of many people that have a garden, what it would look like. Notice the difference in the colors and the vibrance of the colors that are there. Did you know that affects your food? Those colors aren't there just to make them pretty so you pick them up in the market. They actually serve a purpose, as we're going to talk about. The superfoods from remote sources of the earth. Of course, noni is one that most of us on here know about because we were involved with the company that brought noni to the marketplace. But now to find out that not only is it important, but when you use it properly and you ferment it properly, it makes it even more powerful. But all these superfruits are now being discovered on how they can help the human body through the gut microbiome. Did you know that the herbs and spices of the earth, they actually have a healing effect? Now, you've been hearing about garlic, I know, for years because they've been selling garlic pills on TV in America for the last 25, 30 years. But turmeric, ginger, cayenne peppers all have a benefit for the gut microbiome. The ancient civilization foods. You know, I didn't know that quinoa was ancient. I thought my wife invented it because she brought it up to me. You need to be eating quinoa. Quinoa, I'm like, what? And barley, bulgur wheat, farro, all these things, and these olives that are used around the earth, they understand the benefit of it for the gut microbiome. If you're anything like me, it was like, what? I mean, this is revolutionary stuff for me and you, possibly. I know some of you might have heard about the benefits of the gut, but I never knew what a gut microbiome was. And so now, as we talk a little bit more about color, did you realize that each of these colors in these foods, they provide critical phytonutrients that they actually impact every system in our bodies? Now, what's the big push that you and I hear about all the time? Green. You're not getting enough green leafy vegetables. Guess what? What if I told you that's just the tip of the iceberg? But I do want you to know about color, because I learned this back about 25 years ago. I used to be in the cookware business, and I sold a very high-end cooking system that didn't destroy the vitamins and minerals in the food. And when I was learning about that, the teachers taught us that the color of your food is the vitamins. The flavor, and I'm talking specific to fruits and vegetables, the flavor of fruits and vegetables is the mineral. Vitamins are the color, minerals are the flavor. Now think about this and you'll prove it to yourself. If food is bland to you, what do you put on it to make it taste better? Salt. What's salt? It's a mineral. Flavor of your food is the minerals. The color in your food is the vitamins. I thought that was a pretty cool thing to know because I never knew it before. But let's talk a little bit more about, okay, green foods. You know that 69% of us, and we understand that, we hear it on TV all the time, 69% of us don't get enough green foods. And it's just kind of important, right? It helps with breast health, skin protection, diuretic, anti-aging, anti-diabetic, here we are for me again, anti-inflammatory. But that's just green. How about these other colors? What about blue and purple foods? You know, 76% of us don't get enough blue and purple foods. That also helps against diabetes, but neurological health, also skin protection, and it's anti-inflammatory. Well, how about the red foods? That promotes heart health, breast health, lung health, bladder health, colon health, eye health, Alzheimer's disease, cellular vitality, anti-inflammatories, arthritis treatment, all because of red food. The red foods, and guess what? 74% of us, we're not getting enough of it. But the biggie is your yellow and your orange. Look, 80% of us do not get enough of orange and yellow foods. And it's an immune system booster. It helps eliminate free radicals. It's a source of vitamin A, lung health, and even rheumatoid arthritis can worsen for people that don't get enough orange and yellow foods. Well, here's the U.S. food consumption. So we look at what percentage of our calories do we get from what portion of our diet. 63% of us get our calories from processed foods. That's cans, packaged goods, things with added oils, sugars, and have refined grains in them that have been refined. And you've all heard that term before, things that you don't want, you want it raw and natural, not refined. 25% of us get our calorie intake from animal foods. But look at plants. Plants is what our great-grandparents, that's what they focused on. Meat was a small additive to their meals. They didn't buy it. If they got something in a can, it's because they put it in there and canned it. They didn't get it from the grocery store. So you look at what we're doing. We're literally taking convenience. We're taking, because we're in a hurry, and we're killing ourselves. Only 12% of us are getting our food, or actually 12% of our American diet is coming from where it needs to be coming from. This should all be the opposite. The plant-based food should be 63% of our diet. And if you'd have told me this 6 months ago, I'd have said, I'm going to die because I'm not doing that. I'm not a plant guy. I used to seriously kid and say, you know, the plants, I feed it to the rabbit and I eat the rabbit. And, you know, I said it's kiddingly but serious. But now what I've learned, and I'll still tell you, I'm not a big plant guy when it comes to cooking, but let's talk about how we can take care of these things. Now, here's something else that we figured out that we've learned, and when I say we, I'm talking about this company, Go Love Life, about the benefits of red light. That you can actually use red light and use it to ferment different fruits, spices, and things like that to actually enhance its ability to help a human. So our exclusive, when I say our, Go Love Life, has figured out how to use red light fermentation at a precise amount of 630 nanometers of light to affect the microbes and enhance the growth through the fermentation process. Well, okay, how much? Well, how much help could it be? Well, you've heard, matter of fact, I heard a comment from somebody while we're waiting to get on this presentation about noni helping one of their loved ones. I consumed noni juice for over 20 years. As a diabetic, I do feel that it helped me. I think the biggest thing I noticed from it was that I didn't lose feeling in the bottom of my feet. Your outer extremities as a diabetic, you lose feeling in them. That's why people have their feet cut off, because they hurt their toe or their foot. They don't feel it. Gangrene sets in. They end up losing a foot, hands. It happens all the time. Well, since I've been with Go Love Life, well, I'm not going to tell you now, I'm letting the cat out of the bag early. I'm going to tell you my personal story so you can see the difference in Next. Next is simply the next level of noni. So we have Next Balance and Next Detox, along with Phytopower. And these three products together make a system called our Daily 3 system. Now, you might have heard Gabe talk about early. Doesn't matter which one you take with what. The point is you need all three in your system every day. 96 fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, and teas. There's no way on God's green earth you and I are ever going to get all those on our own effort. It isn't going to happen. But if you do, if you were to do all 96 of those fruits, vegetables, and the spices and the herbs and teas like we're talking about, look what it could do for you. Here's the benefits of the healthy microbiome. We talked about it a little bit a few minutes ago, but all these things are benefited when you have a healthy microbiome. Matter of fact, here's my story. I actually took this picture in the back room of my house. This is my bin of the Amazon Prime subscription that cost me almost $250 a month. Look at the list. And if you notice, probiotic was on there. And it was like 30 million probiotics or something. And guess which one I bought? Well, you know, there was a $12 one, there was an $18 one, there was a $20 one, and there was a $40 one. Guess which one I bought? The 40. I mean, it's got to be better, right? It costs more. It must be better. And I did that with all of these things. The turmeric, completely organic. It's the best one. The coconut, all this stuff I'm taking. And then when I finally go to the doctor's, well, you know, I don't know how much is getting in your body. What are you talking about? What's the carrier? What's getting into your system? You know that it's said that the toilet's the healthiest member of the family? Because that's where all that stuff goes. Well, here's what happened to me. I don't want you to take my word for nothing. I'm going to prove it to you. There's a saying that documentation beats conversation. You see if you agree. This, if you'll notice, was back on November 23rd, 2021. I went to the doctor, and the reason I was going to the doctor is just time for my normal checkup kind of thing. I wasn't feeling anything any different than I had been. But when they did the blood work, here's what it showed. Now you can see what the standard range is, and look what my range was. This happens to be an enzyme in the liver. It was so waxed, so high, that they were scaring me. We need to get you in right away for an MRI. We got to see what's going on. I mean, it was scary. And then this is the same day. You'll notice the date's the same, but look at these enzymes. The liver, the bone, all these different ones, they're off the chart compared to where they ought to be. That's why that's all the H's over there on the right. They're all extremely high, and they were nervous for me. Well then, if that wasn't enough, look what they had me on. here's the medications that I was on back in, this was in January of this year, 2022. This was all the medications that I was taking that were prescribed by a doctor. In addition to that, I was taking metformin, or in addition to the metformin, which is a pill that's designed supposedly to keep the diabetes from affecting your vital organs. But I was taking somewhere between 20 and 80 units a day of insulin. I was an insulin-dependent diabetic, and I had been for over 15 years. Well, on January 31st, the last day of January, I began taking the Go Love Life Daily 3 system. And again, I don't want you to take my word for it. Let's look at it. This was, I went back to the doctor in May, and look at my glucose. My glucose levels, this is my blood sugar. So you can see it's a little bit, it was hot, real high, over 170 was my average, and it started to drop a little. Then it spiked back up, and you can see the dates. But then from back in April over the year, all the way till April of 2022, my glucose levels just steadily dropped. Now here's the final comment, and this, by the way, is off my chart, which I can go online from Norton Hospital here in Louisville, Kentucky, and here's the final comment to the doctor. Your labs are looking good. Your liver enzymes have completely gone back to normal. Now they were scaring me to death about I might have liver disease. I might have it might be a situation that I have cancer or sclerosis. They're freaking me out. And here it was just all bottom line based on what's happened to me. It was all just in my gut. My A1C had dropped below 7, which was a real big deal to them. And they just found that I needed to stop just taking blood pressure medicine. Matter of fact, I was on 5 at the time there. They cut 1 out. I went down to 4. And then I just went to the doctor again here 2 weeks ago, and they actually cut out another one of those 5 medicines. I'm down to 3. They cut those 3 in half, and now the most insulin I take in a day is about 20 units. Instead of taking somewhere between 15 and 20 units every time I needed it, now I take between 8 and 12 units when my sugar gets a little bit elevated. Now blood pressure, here's direct from the National Library of Medicine. You can see that the gut microbiome and diabetes, as well as you can see on the other side there, high blood pressure. It all happens from the gut. So that's why these changes happen for me, because it's the only thing I did different. I started the end of January, the beginning of February, and by May, my body was responding to my gut being balanced and working properly. Let me tell you the bad news how I learned about these things. I learned about my blood sugar being normal because I almost passed out in the office, and somebody in the office called 911. They put me in the emergency room, and my blood sugar was 34. You could die when your blood sugar hits 40. I was at 34, and it was because I was shooting insulin, and my body was taking care of itself. If any of you on here today are healthy and you take insulin, it could kill you. Same thing with blood pressure medicine. If you have normal blood pressure and you take those pills, it could kill you. I was so dizzy, and I knew it was a side effect of blood pressure medicine, but they'll tell you when you read about it, if you bend over to tie your shoes when you stand up, you'll feel lightheaded. And I remember that feeling, but no, that ain't the way it was happening for me. I was 2 days in a row where I couldn't function. I was so dizzy. I was afraid to drive. I was so dizzy. Guess what? It's because my gut microbiome was helping my blood pressure, and I didn't need the medicine. And that's why they've cut me in half on all those things. So our message here today for you is really simple. Is there one thing that you can do every day to achieve optimal health? Yes, one thing. Just one thing, and it's easy. You don't have to worry about, did I eat already? Which one did I take? You don't have to go through all that nonsense. It's very simple. It's the Daily 3 system. Now, again, my wife and I, she very lovingly mixes the 2 juices and a little bit of water, puts it in a little cup, stores it in the refrigerator. In the morning, she puts a scoop of the powder in, we shake it up, we drink it, and I'm done. I don't have to remember nothing. Now, some people like to drink one of them in the morning, one in the evening, put the powder in a smoothie, whatever. Okay, that's the way you want to do it, you can do it. I'm not that bright. So I just want to take them all first thing in the morning. That way I know I got it done. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm done. One simple thing. Every day, it's completely changed my health. By the way, the day I started on Go Love Life, I weighed, and that was, as I told you, last day of January, first day of February is when I started using it. I was 240 pounds. I'm 215 pounds now. Documentation beats conversation. Now, so wait, boy, this sounds great, you know. How much is this stuff going to cost? Well, it's not $250 like my subscription for feeding the toilet was with Amazon. If you want to buy it retail, you can pay $185 for the Daily 3 system. But if you, like me, like to save a little bit of money, you can save $30 a month just by putting it on subscription. Well, what does that mean? Well, probably everybody on this call knows what a subscription is by now, because everybody out there is trying to get us on one, right? You have a subscription for Hulu. You have a subscription for YouTube. You have a subscription for Spotify. We have subscriptions for everything. Well, if you'll just go on subscription with Go Love Life, it's only $155. And just so that you know, my wife was on a subscription at Planet Fitness. No contracts, no obligation, but they take your credit card. I literally had to call the Attorney General of the state of Kentucky to get them to quit hitting her card. I can tell you with Go Love Life, it don't work that way. You can pause the subscription, cancel the subscription with a click, or call an 800 number. But if you're like me, I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm scared to death they're going to try to sell me more and talk me out of it. Click a button, it's done. So you don't have to worry about that part of it, and you get it for a $30 per month discount. Pretty good deal. Well, how do I know I can trust all this? Well, here's the founders. That guy you see on the left, his name's Kelly Olson. He's one of the 5 original founders of the Noni Company. The Noni Company was called Tish and Noni International, and then for a while it was known as Mirinda. It was the fastest growing company of any kind on the planet from 1996 to 2008. Now, the guy in the middle is named Sean Whitney. The guy on the right is Cody Day. Those 3 guys have worked together with the Noni Company for over 20 years. Well, what do you care? Well, here's what you care. Because these 5 people were also in the Noni Company, and they've all worked together for over 20 years. So this isn't an experiment. This isn't, we're not experimenting. Boy, I hope this works. 98% of the companies today that are startups, they go broke in the first 18 months. Well, this company is already growing close to 10 times faster than the Noni Company did. I started with the Noni Company on its 4th anniversary, in its 4th year. In its 4th year, it was at the same volume in sales in its 4th year that Coca-Cola was in its 40th year. And this one's growing 10 times faster. Why do you think that is? Well, it's real simple. It's because it works. And we're in over 24 countries in 6 months. That doesn't happen because they're slick salesmen. It happens because people are getting results. All the people on this call that have been using this product for any length of time can tell you it's positive results. The stories that we're hearing, they're nothing short of miraculous. And again, when you think about it, where's the miracle? It's not from a man-made prescription with that long list of stuff that can kill you. It's all stuff that your creator made. Funny, huh? How he's a little smarter than us. Go figure. So here's something that you got to remember. This stuff, it can't hurt you. It might help you. And it just might change your life forever. But, you could do what I was having to do. Thank goodness my doctors told me that in another few months I'll be off all medications. But here's what's going on out there. These are all just the side effects of medicines out there. I just put a few of them up there. It's a situation where they tell you on TV that, you might die. So I'm going to pay somebody to give me something that might kill me? How many, I don't know if it's possible to eat enough fruits, vegetables, spices, teas, and herbs to kill yourself. I guess it's possible. You can maybe do so much you explode, but It's not going to be because of those items. It's going to be because something silly that you or I choose to do, right? So here's the deal, folks. It's your choice. You get to choose which way you want to go. You want to go all natural, or you want to spend $250 a month to make sure Jeff Bezos helps keep all our toilets healthy. It's a joke. It's a joke. And here's the only thing I'm personally going to ask you. When you use this product, when you try it, be fair to you. Forget about me. Forget about the company. Be fair to you. Do it for at least 90 days. Now, why do I say that? Well, I don't care what's going wrong with your gut. Chances are it took 90 days or more for it to mess up. It was right at the 90-day mark that I went to the emergency room because everything was going right for me and the medicines were killing me. But I have friends that in a week, you saw my nephew. That was my nephew at the beginning, and it was like a week or two that he already noticed these changes in his energy and his weight loss and all that happened for him right away. And again, everyone invited you to this call. Get with them. Ask them for their story.